Yo, what up YouTube? It's Bryce, and I'm doing my Gallis MASH deck profile today. Basically, it's all monsters, and it plays Gallis the Star Beast, and that's where it gets its name, is a combination of those two things. So let's get started. First off, we have 3 Gallis the Star Beast. It's part of the main combo of the deck. If you don't know what it does, you can read the effect on the side, or I can explain it, I guess. You mill a card, and if the card's a monster, you can special summon Gallus, and your opponent takes 200 times the monster's level. So it burns them to death, basically. Then the next part of the combo is Kawaki Mirror Doom. This just negates the effects of light and dark monsters, which will come into play when we get to the 3 Birdman the deck plays. Basically, the combo of the deck is to repeatedly summon Gallus with a Kawaki Mirror Doom on the field. Then you use Birdman's effect to return Gallus for the cost, and then Doom negates the effect to special summon, so you just loop until your opponent scoops, basically, once they realize what's going on. So yeah, it plays 3 Gallus, 3 Doom, and 3 Birdman, and then the other parts of the deck. It plays 3 Battle Fader, just as protection, since it's all monsters, you need something to protect you. Plus you contribute them. And then it plays 2 Trigodia, just as added protection as well, and also to take your opponent's monsters, to exceed with, to synchro with, whatever you need to do. Plus it's a dark, which is good. 3 Caius, just for some removal, and because it's beefy, and because you definitely have stuff to tribute in this deck. Plus it's a dark. That 1 Tech Ryza in there, just to have something else to tribute for, to tribute after Battle Faders. Plus it's a wind, which is actually pretty good. 3 Reborn Tengus, just to be floaters. You can synchro with them, you can tribute them. They can just tank for you, whatever you need them to do. Plus their wind. 3-Dimensional Alchemist. You mill a card to your RFG, and this card gains 500 attack, and when it's destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can add one of your remove from play monsters to your hand. So basically, this is kind of your draw engine in the deck. You just mill, and then whatever's removed from play, you can take it back. So if they haven't removed from play any of your boss monsters, you can take them back. You can get back a tour guide. You can get back any of the pieces of the combo. It's just pretty good. And 3 Witch of the Black Rose. This is a 1700 4-star tuner. And when it's normal summoned while you control no other monsters, you can draw a card, and if it's a monster, you add it to your hand, which it always will be. So this just speeds up the deck a little. Plus it's a 4-star tuner, so you can use this in Tengu to go into some 8 stars. 3 Effect Veiler, just because they're light and because they're monsters, so that's good. Obviously they're tuners as well, which can be helpful. And just stops your opponent's plays. I opted for 3 Veiler over 3 Max C, just as personal preference, and because they're light, which is good for this deck. 2 Max C, obviously just draw into your pieces, or into your Battle Faders, just stuff to tank. If you have Max C and your opponent's going off, you're probably not going to lose that turn. 3 Tour Guide from the Underworld. This card is very good. It can get your Sangan, it can get you a Leviaire to get back whatever is removed from Alchemist. It can tank for you by making Zen mains. It can get you a Leviathan just to beat over stuff. It's just so versatile. Basically, you can use so many different things off of just this one card. In the Sangan, obviously it searches out your Gallus or your Birdman, or anything else you think you need at the time, because the deck can obviously win without drawing the combo, which is another thing that makes it very good. Gores, just because you don't play any back row, so you gotta have that Gores in there. You gotta have that Gores in there anyway, but even more so in this deck. Plus it's a dark, which is good, because we do run Dark Armed Dragon, so you can just whip this guy out and start plussing, basically. You run enough darks to facilitate it for sure, but also you kind of have ways of manipulating your graveyard, so that's good. And the manipulation comes through Blackluster Soldier, which you can remove a dark and just control the number that way with him. And Dark Samorg, you can remove darks for him too. You run enough winds and enough lights in this deck, plus enough darks, just to facilitate Soldier and Samorg, just basically big beaters you can derp out, and just helps you win, The side deck, I guess we'll go over it, although this deck is mainly for Dueling Network, and I don't like to side on here, but we got one Gale. It's just a great card, and it's a monster. It doesn't really synergize with the deck that well, that's why it's in the side. Two Breakers, just in case you run into a lot of back row. One Sorcerer, just for extra removal. Two DD Crow, if you're feeling the Veiler isn't working for you or whatever. The third Max C, if you feel like they're special summoning a lot, and you want to get that in there. Gramble, just because it's good against Synchros and Exceeds, basically. Two Penguin Soldier, just because it's a monster and it's got a decent effect, return 2. You can pseudo plus off of it, or plus if they're Synchros or Exceeds. And then the two Snowman Eater, just it's a decent wall. It's a 3-star, so you can Exceeds with it, and you obviously blow up cards. And then 3 staples, Dark Hole, Heavy Storm, and Monster Reborn. I'm very hesitant to put these in because it could kill your Gallis combo, but they can just be so good that they're in the side at least. In the extra deck, you got that Cataster, just because you can make it a 4-star and a Veiler, obviously. Librarian for the same reason, just to beat over their Cataster, essentially, because you're not going to synchro enough for its effect to matter. Brionic, just because it's kind of a staple 6-star. And then Gaia, just if you need to beat over stuff, with 6 stars. Black Rose, pretty much a staple 7. And then Scrap Archfiend, just a 7-star beater. Stardust, because you gotta run Stardust. Scrap Dragon for pretty much the same reason. And then Trishula, just because you never know what's gonna happen. And then the Xyz, you got Leviair. Obviously, this can be back to your combo pieces that you've milled with D-Alc, or just basically start combos going with this guy. Leviathan, just a 25 beater to get over stuff, basically. 2 Zen mains, just a tank, so you can draw into your combo, because once you get that going, you basically won. And then Utopia, just if you desperately need a rank 4 Xyz. And then Roach for pretty much the same reason. And yeah, so that's the deck, guys. Hopefully you guys like it, and go ahead and thumbs up and possibly subscribe. Peace.